it's Kristen, and these are the last lot of books I got in 2025. So these are all the books I got in October, November and December. So first up, I bought myself A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch by Sarah Hawley. This is the sequel companion book to A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, which I read last year and really enjoyed way more than I thought I would. And so I've been anticipating the second book. So this book features the best friend of the main character from the first book as the main character in this book, and she was quite entertaining. She was quite a go for it kind of woman who was sort of no nonsense, bit of a badass. And the love interest, I believe, is the antagonist from the first book, which I think is going to be such an interesting dynamic, so I'm very excited for that. She begrudgingly has to help him because he's suffering from amnesia, so I feel like the dynamic of that sounds fun and I'm excited to get into this. Then I bought The Favourites by Lane Fargo. This is childhood sweethearts turned Olympic hopefuls, and I believe just follows these characters throughout their ice skating careers. And I've heard there's lots of drama. People have said it's perfect if you're a fan of Daisy Jones and the Six and the way that that's told. So I'm excited, and also I believe that this is maybe a sort of Wuthering Heights retelling, which I didn't know initially but intrigues me. But I love books that are about figures like a band, an actress, Olympians, where there's a lot of shit going on in their personal lives and stuff. So this one really intrigued me, so I picked this up. And then I also picked up Soul Searching by Lila Sage. Lila Sage is the author of the Rebel Blue Ranch series, so Done and Dusted, Swift and Saddled, those books, which are a fun little cowboy romance series, which I enjoy. I've rated the different books different amounts of stars, but I have fun with them every time I read them. And this is about a woman who can see ghosts, I believe. It reminds me of a book series I read when I was younger called The Mediator series by Meg Cabot, which was a teenage girl who could see ghosts. And yeah, I just thought a sort of paranormal-esque Western romance sounded a little bit different and it could be fun. So I know I like Lila Sage's writing, or at least find it entertaining, good fun. So yeah, I picked that up as well. Then next I have a book that, if you've seen my other book haul videos, you know that some of my volunteers at work got me a book subscription thing for my birthday for 6 months worth of books. This was the October book, and it is Hum by Helen Phillips. This sounds really intriguing to me. It says, in a hot and gritty metropolis populated by both people and super intelligent robots called Hums, May seeks some reprieve from recent hardships and from her family's addiction to their devices. She splurges on a weekend away at the Botanical Garden, a rare green refuge in the heart of the city where forest streams and animals flourish. But when it becomes clear that the garden is not the ideal she hoped it would be, and her children come under threat, May is forced to put her trust in a Hum of uncertain motives in order to restore the life of her family. This sounds really interesting to me as someone who's getting into reading more fiction about the environment and stuff. I feel that will come into play, but also who is someone who is currently worried about AI and whether technology is going too far in certain ways. I think this sounds like an interesting mix of those two things. So I hadn't heard of this when I got it, but I've since seen Kayla read it on her channel, Books and Lala. I think she thought it was all right, but it's pretty short, so I thought this sounded like an interesting short book. Then I have my last book from the book subscription, the November book, and that is Carrion Crow by Heather Parry. This is about a young woman, I think, who is like confined to her house, to the attic of her home, and her mum says like, it's for your own good, it's for your own well-being, but that's like, for the most part, all this says in the synopsis. It says she wishes to be wed, but she first has much to learn about proper married behaviour. There are some facts about the world that only your mother can teach you. Marguerite has been confined for the sake of her well-being. That's what her mother has said. So I believe this is like a gothic horror, again very short, but this sounds like really intriguing to me, and like it could be a bit of a mindfuck, so I'm excited to get to this one as well. Then we have a few books I bought myself in the Waterstones like double triple stamps thing. So I picked up The Wedding People by Alison Espach. I have seen so many people talk about this and talk about how great it sounds, and it sounded intriguing to me when I first heard about it. It's about a young woman who goes to a hotel and finds that actually there's like a big wedding going on there, which she didn't know about. She doesn't know like any of the people at this wedding. She kind of gets pulled into the wedding and all the like shenanigans going on, but I believe there's a lot in here to do with like mental health and stuff like that, and I've just heard really good things. My mum read this on audiobook and she really liked it, and so when it was like slightly discounted as well, I thought I would pick it up, and I'm really excited to finally get to this one. Then we have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which is about a woman who is a witch but has been told to like hide her magic, keep her head down, stay away from other witches. She's invited to teach 3 young witches at the mysterious Nowhere House, and I think meets a man there, and I've heard it's cute, it's cozy, it's a nice little witchy romance, which I love. I love me a witchy romance, as you can tell from previous books in this haul. Just heard like mostly good things, and I thought it sounded fun, and I always like to have a cute little romance on my shelves that I can like go to when I'm in the mood for something quick and sweet. So I picked that up. Then I have one that I sort of bought on a whim. Like it had been on my wish list, but I'd sort of forgotten what it was about. And it was on sale, like massively discounted. So I thought I'd just add it to my basket to get just into the range of being able to get extra points and stuff. This is about a young woman who, so, like her brother is detained by marshals, and she is like, I'm gonna save him, I think. And she meets a pirate along the way, and so it's her and this pirate going on this adventure together, but like there's some tension there, but obviously it's going to turn into a romance. They have like a mutual attraction, they just go on this adventure, and there's also the map of the Pirate King. Just this woman trying to save her brother, getting pulled into a world of piracy and adventure. Sounded fun. I like a pirate romance. I've struggled to find like really brilliant ones, so I'm hoping I like this, but if I don't, it only cost me like £3, so I'm not like too stressed out about it. Then we have The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. This is the sequel to the 5th season, which I read earlier this year, finally, and really enjoyed. This is like sort of dystopian sci-fi fantasy. There are people with powers to do with like earth sort of magic, very like end of the world vibes. I really liked the way the magic worked. I liked the way the story was told in the first book, and I'm interested to see how that follows through into this book, since like things were revealed in the first book. I thought like the class system of like humans was really interesting and will be, yeah, interesting to further explore. A lot of like trauma and tragedy in these books, so excited to get to this one. And then last book, this was a Christmas present from my parents, and it is The Women Who Built Bristol Volume 1 by Jane Duffus. So this is about like a bunch of women who were involved in like shaping the city of Bristol into what it is today. Historic figures. It says from pin makers to police chiefs, from workhouse inmates to secret agents, this book celebrates the women who built Bristol. This sounds interesting to me. I like to have a little non-fiction on the go throughout the year, so it's just broken down into like little biographies, mini biographies of different women, some illustrations in here. But I feel like this is one I can, yeah, dip in and out of throughout the year and just learn a bit more about history and like the area I grew up in. And this is one I've seen like out and about, and I've always gone, oh, that would be interesting. Like, should I buy that? Should I read that? And then, yeah, my mum bought it for me. So that's pretty cool. And that is it. Those are all the books that I got in October, November, December. Quite a few, but you know, one was a Christmas present and two were like essentially birthday presents. So I only bought myself 7, which is still quite a lot, but I will put myself on a little book buying ban now. And yeah, did you get any books for Christmas? Are there any books that you're excited about that you've got in 2025 that you've been meaning to get around to, and like what's priority reading for you in 2026? Do let me know in the comments below, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!